Hey, playa, have you ever found yourself getting closer to someone thinking that it was leading to a potential romantic relationship, but somehow under the surface you were still unsure as to whether or not this person was leading you on? Figuring out if someone's leading you on is not always the easiest thing to do, but there are certain signs that you should be looking for. I'm going to walk you through what they are right now. First, let's talk about what leading on actually looks like. If you hold an expectation of someone that the two of you are on the same page and that you're working towards the same thing, just casually dating, a romantic relationship, or even a friendship, and then you find out that they have a totally different perspective that you do, and it was just never communicated, that can make you feel like you were being led on. But communication isn't the only piece. After all, you communicate with your friends and your family members, and you never feel led on by them, so what is that missing component? Well, I'm going to break it out in 4 quadrants for you. The 2 factors that you need to be looking out for is how often the two of you communicate, as well as how often the two of you hang out or spend time together. If you feel like the communication between the two of you is great in the sense that you're always DMing each other, you're saying hi and having conversations in person, but you're never actually hanging out with them one-on-one, you might be in the feedback friend zone. The feedback friend zone is when a person enjoys the attention that you're giving them, but they're not actually interested in building any kind of physical intimacy with you at all. This usually manifests as the two of you having these long, deep conversations where you're revealing your heart and your soul and everything about yourself, but there's never any steps forward in terms of taking it to the physical level where the two of you are hanging out one-on-one in person. You might have even asked them to hang out, but they're just not interested. They're always too busy, something comes up, or they'd rather hang out as a group with lots of other people there. If you feel like you're in this place with the person that you like, the best thing that you can do is to be clear about how you feel. They recognize you as a friend, but if that's not really all you want with them, you need to be clear about that. Let them know that you like them and you want to build on that connection. So what if they're not interested in hanging out and communication just sucks? They never respond to your messages, they never say hi to you whenever you see them in person. This stage is called the time waster because you're wasting your time pursuing someone that has no interest in you at all. At least in the feedback friend zone, the two of you are communicating. But if you're in this time waster spot, you're not even being led on because the person is just not really displaying any signs that could be confusing in any way. If you feel like you're pursuing someone that's giving you nothing to work with, not only in cases where you've had 0 interaction with them, but also cases where you message them and they just never respond back, or if you see them in person they just totally ignore you, the best thing for you to do is to put that person on the back burner. You deserve someone that's worthy of your time and attention, and if this person is just not willing to give that to you, then okay, stop investing so much of your energy into it and really start looking for new potential prospects. Now, one odd stage you might run into is that they're open to hanging out with you, but they just really suck at communication. This is the zone known as the time filler. Basically what they're doing is they're hanging out with you because they're bored. They're looking for a way to pass the time, and you just happen to be the person that fits the bill. The problem with this stage is that it's incredibly misleading. The two of you are hanging out, which is a good thing, but the communication just isn't there. That means that they're not really making the effort to get to know you better, to talk more, showing genuine interest in learning more about you and sharing more about themselves. I would suspect that if you're here, the person you're hanging out with is just waiting for someone else more interesting to come along. So the way to kind of handle this situation is to focus on really building strong communication. And the way that you do that is by asking questions, learning more about them, going deeper into conversation topics, as well as sharing more about yourself. The more you can kind of open up dialogue, the easier it's going to be for them to realize, wow, you're actually a really cool person and I want to learn more about you. Now, obviously, the best stage to be in is one in which there's heavy communication and lots of hanging out. If you find yourself here, that doesn't mean they won't lead you on, but there's a higher likelihood that the two of you are making that conscious effort to see if you're compatible, to see if a relationship is on the horizon, and to see if this is something worth pursuing. If you want to cast away all doubt as to whether or not you're being led on, then hanging out with them is a good first step, talking is a good first step, but you need to make that physical move. You need to show them that you're romantically interested in them. That might mean going in for a kiss, that might mean establishing whether or not you want them to be your girlfriend or boyfriend. Take a next definitive step beyond just hanging out if you want to actually have it go somewhere. So now that we have an understanding of all 4 areas, if you look at the full chart put together, you can see that if you're on that left side in the yellow areas, you probably have a higher likelihood of being led on compared to the blue side where there's a lower chance overall. Being in the bottom left corner means you're going to have the highest chance of getting left on compared to the top right corner where you have the lowest chance. All in all, that's just to say this is a hypothetical. We're purely speculating. A person can lead you on at any stage of the interaction. So the best thing you can do is be as open as you can, communicate how you feel, and move things forward to see if this is the person for you. Now, if you're someone that is constantly getting overwhelmed by mixed signals from the person that you like, do they like you? Do they not like you? What did they say when they meant this? Why are they texting every other day? All these different confusing pieces. Check out the video over there on the side where I'm going to break down how to read and interpret different mixed signals from your crush. I think that video is going to kind of ease some of the tension and help calm your mind. So check it out, and I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.